What's up, everybody?
My name is Anthony Irvin.
You beat yourself?
Yeah,
okay.
CB myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Jim Green. Don't even need to hit a fucking traffic light.
Okay, good.
Welcome to
One Set.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? I'm still working on that timing.
Still working on the timing and the delay of live streamings. Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new format that we are testing, so we appreciate everyone's patience. Thank you for those that are tuning in with us tonight. And let's get right down to it.
Yeah,
Last
man.
week, we were raving about the build to WrestleMania. Man, Smackdown. We are not going in depth about Smackdown this week, okay?
Yeah, I would definitely say SmackDown compared to tonight was, obviously tonight was the better show. There was a couple things with SmackDown, but we have a lot to talk about with Raw. There was a lot of things that developed tonight on Raw.
I feel like they probably positioned SmackDown to be a low-end show. I mean, they built the show basically around Jelly Roll, and I was like, how are we 3 weeks out from WrestleMania? Not knocking what Jelly Roll's doing. Think that there's good things happening on that front.
Absolutely.
3 weeks away from WrestleMania, and you are building the show around Jelly Roll. There are, any other time in the year, I would be like, cool. I wouldn't be complaining about it. They had Randy come out at the end. Up comes Cody Rhodes' tour bus. He gets out, and they cut to a commercial. And I was like, all right, if this is like a quick thing, which like it usually never is. They had Cody Rhodes in the side cam shot walking backstage for 4 minutes. I mean, he got off the tour bus and was just taking his good old time. Mm-hmm. Did you see somebody online posted a clip of the guy coming out of the restroom and he was going like this?
I didn't see that. No, I'll have to go back and watch.
Dude, I was dying laughing. I was like, oh my God, that made it worth it. That somebody came out, looked at Cody Rhodes, and went, oh my God.
It's like the Dan Housen thing last week where he was taking it, the money from the two people, and you could just see him running in the background. Like it's just like the camera team is just getting these little glitches, and if you're not paying attention, it's just gold.
Well, yeah, I will say, and I was thinking about this earlier. I really feel like WWE has stepped their game up in the backstage segment aspect of the shows. Like I think there are things happening backstage where it's like, okay, if you're missing that, you are missing it, like semi-important stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just us diehard fans that are like looking into how the show is laid out, looking into like how certain things backstage feed into parts of the show later on. Casual fans that are tuning in for like, okay, well, like what's happening in the ring? Okay, what's like the main storyline? They're not going to care about that stuff. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I was like, this commercial break of Cody walking to the ring is only fine if the bra, it had to be a bra in the ring, paid it off. And I think it just totally fell flat. Okay. Pretty sure this is Brandon. Thank you for the comment. I find myself not paying attention to matches and only paying attention to backstage segments. Yeah, thank you. I think that there is so much wrestling out there. If you want to watch like a quality wrestling match, just for the sake of a quality wrestling match, there are avenues to pull up wrestling matches and watch them. And
100%.
Not even just WWE, right? There are plenty of good quality matches in all the other promotions, right? And when I say all the other, maybe not all the other, right? But I digress.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great. In all, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan because you got so many avenues, like you were saying, and even though we mainly just talk about WWE, it's good to kind of be able to keep up on a lot. I mean, if there's something, there's something almost every night of the week for wrestling. So yeah, and yeah, just I think like we were mentioning that the backstage segments have been getting a little bit more important. And they've been trying to make it feel like, okay, this isn't just a segment just to get to the next match or something. Like sometimes these things actually you have to pay attention to them in the storylines because you'll find little Easter eggs and little things like that. So the creative is definitely doing their extra part to make sure people are watching little things, and if not, they'll remind you down the lane, or you'll find it on the internet. But they're definitely making sure that you have to watch, like, not even just the matches, but something outside of those matches to be able to make sure that you're not missing anything.
Right. And
cinema.
I mean, yeah, cinema, right? When back before AEW was a thing and WWE was the only like major, obviously Japan was a thing, but like it wasn't as big and mainstream as like it had been right around the time that AEW blew up. Like New Japan was pretty important, like probably at its biggest, right? AEW starts, and like the big thing there wasn't like, okay, is AEW gonna be better than WWE? Yeah, people definitely were like, oh, it is gonna be way better. Like there's just something for everybody, right? And I think that the biggest thing there was it made WWE try harder to be better. And that was
like I said, there's always something good about competition that, when WWE was at the top for so many years, and then this, little thing comes and like, okay, well, we're not worrying about it, but then, you get a little traction. Oh, it's going to push us to be a little bit harder. So, there's nothing wrong with healthy competition.
Sure.
I think we can all agree AEW probably will never get to the level of WWE, but it's good that they, gave them a little bit of a punch to be like, okay, there are things that are keeping us from, trying to push ourselves. So this is at least that little nudge to be like, okay, we got to keep up on our game because there are people that are trying to, nudge us forward. So this just, keeps us on our tail. So,
yeah. All in all, SmackDown, kind of a sleeper fest. And I mean, I do think that they purposefully made it kind of weak sauce because they were gonna load up tonight, right?
Yeah. I will say the one part about the truth segment that was, probably the funniest part of the night, where Truth was talking and mistaking Jelly Roll as Dom. That had to been the funniest thing that I've ever seen with Truth.
I mean, anything.
I keep saying, like, we got to protect Truth with all costs. He is just. I mean, he's loving what he's doing. He doesn't even need to be in every week. And the fact that he's tag champions with Damian Priest, I won't get into that because that'll be another hour or something. But the fact that we at least get Truth now on SmackDown, just doing his bits and stuff, that's fine with me.
There is one other thing that we have to talk about from SmackDown. Sami Zayn is the new United States champion.
Yes. And once he won that, I'm like, okay, I definitely know where they're going with this. So,
yeah, and I will say, like, storyline wise, it makes sense just to keep it one-on-one, but I will say it is trash for everything that Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov have done.
Yeah.
In the past couple months.
Yeah, it definitely craps on them a lot.
Yeah, for them to miss Mania, I don't like it. But if you go back to WrestleMania 40, in the road to WrestleMania, all signs pointed to we were getting Gunther versus Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? Sami Zayn slid in, right?
Yep.
They have to give Sami Zayn something to do. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Right.
The only reason that they do this time is because Sami Zayn was completely left off the card last year. And it's like the guy is just not moving any needles
No,
at all.
not at all. Not at all.
Not without the being the honorary Uce in the bloodline, and definitely not without Kevin Owens, which it's just sad to say. I am all for Carmelo having a break, but I definitely think he would have wanted to be on the card for WrestleMania. He
for sure
definitely deserves it. I mean, after Mania, let him take an extended break, and then this this does feel very much like, okay, Sami Zayn was given that belt just to drop the belt to Trick Williams at WrestleMania. I mean, that's got to happen, right?
That's definitely got it. That was my shtick of like, okay, they're definitely giving us Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. We're gonna get Trick Williams winning the Intercontinental Championship at Mania. Then we can get what we were talking about a couple episodes ago. We can eventually get that rematch of Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes down the line, or we get a triple threat of Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, and Trick. I would love that match. That would be amazing. And we'll probably get a 4-way with Sammy in there eventually, maybe if so. But I'm all for seeing Trick win.
It's just kind of weird because Sami Zayn's whole story has been chasing the world title, and then all of a sudden, I get it, for him to just squeeze himself into the WrestleMania card. He's going to go answer the open challenge, and he wins it by some fluke with it was like not a distraction. Trick was going for Sammy. Sammy ducked, and it got Mello. Mello lost the belt, and I do feel like Trick is going to get the belt, and we're going to get Trick and Carmelo feud all the way through the summer to SummerSlam. Good with it.
Give it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Carmelo and Ilya are both pretty new. And you can't deny Trick Williams is just, he's one of the most over people that have just come up from NXT, and not a Finn Balor who is just who already was super well known around around the world, basically. Made a name for himself elsewhere. All right, had to get that Sami Zayn business out there, winning the United States title. We're going to talk about the Intercontinental title, which we just found out about tonight. But let's go through the notes. Let's go through just kind of the key stuff from the beginning. I know you missed the intro with Cody Rhodes coming out. I was just like, okay, they're in Madison Square Garden. They got to get Cody Rhodes out there, I guess, right?
Right. I saw before the night started that, somebody had plugged Cody Rhodes is in the back. I'm like, okay, we're going to get, I didn't think it was going to open the night, but I'm like, all right, we're going to get a Cody segment and talking about something. But yeah, didn't think it was going to open. Didn't think it had anything to really do with Stephanie. I kind of had the thing on mute, so I didn't really see the whole thing. But it was you were kind of giving me the background of the whole thing. So it's more of just a way to pump up Cody to be like, all right, you need to be, coming in on your A game because you're facing, this vintage Randy Orton, and I don't think you're ready for it. So,
I will say, Steph said, you're not your father. And Cody said, you're not yours to Stephanie. She slaps Cody. And then the weirdest thing happened. She slapped him and then continued to talk to him. Yeah. I'm like, this might be the first time that we've ever seen, because routinely somebody gets slapped and it escalates to another. There's usually not dialogue following a slap, right?
Right.
So
right.
Stephanie's basically just slapping some sense into him, but also don't talk about my dad. Even though she talked about Dusty. Any rate.
They probably just made both ends meet at that point. Like, okay.
Yeah, that's a wash.
Okay, next.
Basically, this version of Cody Rhodes can't beat Randy Orton. And Cody was just like, Stephanie, I've got 2 words for you. And the whole audience was like, "Yeah, suck it." And then, he just said thank you and like dropped the mic, walked away, and all of New York started booing him. But I was like, okay, so something else noteworthy, and this is just off of Cheyenne looking up Cody Rhodes merch because I have just refused to buy her anything Cody Rhodes up to this point. All of his stuff on WWE Shop is on sale, so I'm like, between that Cody scene. All right, Brandon, just reading your comment here. That Cody scene and the Brock scene were just excuses for Stephanie and Triple H. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I did once, and we're going to talk about the Brock thing.
Yeah, you're not gonna have an MSG night and not have one of those two or both of them make an appearance. Come on now.
Make an appearance. Yeah, they got to get their limelight in, and it's like at this point, it's like, okay, Triple H is just trying to be Dana White and break up the fight between the behemoths, right? Like that's it. Just to skip ahead to that real quick, it was real curious. Like Brock Lesnar's music hit, and he comes out looking like he's ready to wrestle a match. I was like,
he is ripped. I don't think he's been that ripped in a while.
I just mean he was like dressed in his in-ring gear, ready. I'm like, when is the last time that he's showed up on Raw in ring gear?
Yeah, just ready.
I mean, the last time I can remember him not at a PLE in ring gear is the SmackDown where he took the title off of Kofi Kingston, and that was
true
7 years ago almost. But at any rate, basically, it just feels like the Cody heel turn might be coming.
Yeah. I mean,
which is like, please, because whatever you're doing with Cody right now, it's just boring. It's boring me to pieces. It's like he just needs a
little bit of a change.
The whole Mr. Nice Guy thing. Like, you talk about the most over baby faces. Like, Stone Cold Steve Austin was not this Mr. Nice Guy. The Rock was not a Mr. Nice Guy. Like, give Cody some edge, man. Like, he desperately needs it. Just desperately.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, he out of all these WrestleMania matches, he's the one getting his butt kicked every week. He's the one getting bloodied. He's the one, like I said, it seems like he, even though with a championship or out of a championship, he's always, the one almost like in the chase of it. Even though he's the champion, it's like he's always the underdog of it. Yeah. So it's like he's always trying to be or in that limelight of like, okay, let's cheer for Cody. So he wins.
They're the way that they book him is they just try to garner sympathy for him all the time, and that's what's boring. That's
the better way to take it. I mean, we just feel bad for Cody.
It's been way too long.
We still have Cody crybabies out there, I guess.
I'm way over it.
Wow.
Moving along here. Danhausen was awkward backstage. The guy can do nothing wrong. I don't care. It was like.
No.
It was like Adam Pearce was there, and I actually, Cody isn't allowed to have any edge. His character is
lawful good.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Pretty straight on, man.
Yeah, literally. I mean, it's like, comes out, punches the ground, just Smiley McGee at the crowd, and I'm like, just stop it. Just stop it. I get it with the kids, right?
Yep.
And it's fine. You have a Javon Evans who is for the kids. You have Penta. The kids love Penta, right?
Yep.
I mean, you have other avenues that are like catered to the kids. I mean, Cody's not getting any younger. Like he's gonna be at the end of his road sooner than later.
Yeah.
You need to give him more variety. You need to give him stuff to do. Danhausen, always great. Division wins the tag titles.
New tag team titles. So, which I wouldn't expect, but I think we were mentioning that they kind of have to win that. They want to keep some type of relevancy going into WrestleMania. So, not too upset with the fact that the titles have changed. And again, this could lead more into Jay and Jimmy kind of having some type of altercation with that, because obviously with Jay having his mental, outburst going, it could lead to somewhere maybe, but
So,
or it could just lead to a regular rematch at Mania.
yeah, I know we're trying to like be organized and not jump all over the place, but like if we go to the end of the show, the brawl with Punk and Roman, no Usos to be found, which I thought was great.
Yes.
But also it was like, okay, I feel like Roman is just going to go to the Usos and be like, where were y'all? What are you doing? And you lost the tag titles too.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very like it could push the Usos back to side with Punk in the end.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Not sure.
Being like a "you were right all along" type of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, like even Tama Tonga saying to Solo, like, you're starting to sound like Roman. That was 2 SmackDowns ago, and then on this past SmackDown, Solo was like, I want to apologize, and that's something that Roman Reigns wouldn't do. So, despite Roman, putting the call out to the entire family, it does feel like everybody is put off by trying not to sound like Roman Reigns, right? Like, so some interesting dynamic there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Cody's the all might of WWE. Yeah.
He's the protected one right now.
I know that the hardest thing for them to do is book a solid babyface. Anybody can be a heel, and it's great. We've talked about that. It's easy to be a heel and get heat and like play the tough role that you're unbeatable. It is tougher to build a babyface that the audience can care about. But
absolutely,
it's like I said, you have to like the Austins, the Rocks, even Randy Orton at this point. He can do no wrong, and the fans love him, right? The only one that was Cena, but it's because they kept him face forever. It wasn't until the very end when people knew, like, okay, like Cena's not going to be doing this much longer. It's a treat anytime we see him for the most part, right?
For the most part.
We're not gonna talk about that heel run last year that like coulda, woulda, shoulda been a lot better, and then just I digress because again we'll just go on and on about that, right? So I feel like Division winning the tag titles also plays into the fact that we saw later on, Adam Pearce announces Seth Rollins is medically cleared. You and I both are like, here we go, Braun Breaker is coming, and out of nowhere, Seth gets yanked out of the ring, and there's Gunther, and I'm like, what? I mean, a letdown. It's not Braun Breaker.
Definitely was a letdown, but I'm like, okay. I mean, at least they have Gunther. They obviously figured, okay, Braun's not ready, so this is your next best thing for him.
Braun's not ready, or it's like the WrestleMania moment might be you have Braun Breaker return at Mania, and then it can just set the feud up for the summer moving on after that, right?
Or you can get him the Monday Night Raw after Mania. Seth beats Gunther by some type of way, and then that night, Monday Night Raw, we get a returning Braun Breaker. So
yeah, it's totally fine. Because I know he's been like trying. He's in the Performance Center. He's trying to get ready, and it's like, it's probably going to cut it close. And it's like, look, man, like we need to give Seth something to do. We need to solidify it. And clearly, Gunther is the backup plan. Gunther was most likely supposed to face Rey Mysterio, who wound up with broken ribs. Everybody, like not everybody, but I saw so many people were like, how did you just build Gunther to retire Goldberg, to retire John Cena, to retire AJ Styles, and then you don't even have him on the WrestleMania card? It was interesting that Adam Pearce, after the fact, announced Gunther as the ring general again. I'm like, yeah, I guess they kind of couldn't call him the career killer after all. I mean, he's not in that moniker right now, right?
Yeah, Brandon. I definitely agree. We've got nothing else, so we're just doing our best.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
obviously not the
that
one
is
that they wanted, but they're obviously at this point just getting all their matches putting in because they need to sell these tickets, obviously. So you can definitely tell out of the last 2 weeks they've been just booking and booking and booking, and ever since that Oba and Brock outburst and letting them know that that's going to be a match, they've just been solidifying matches here, there, and everywhere at this point.
Yeah, I mean, right before the main event tonight, they were like the main event segment tonight, they were like, Michael Cole was like, these few matches actually like officially announced for WrestleMania.
It was like
it was
three matches almost.
It was like, boom, here's a multi-man ladder match for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Boom, officially. Which, if you caught the promo package from Finn,
yes,
he did say at the end of the promo, like with Dom, and we're gonna do it at WrestleMania. And I'm like,
finish you at WrestleMania. So I'm like, okay.
I was like, did they even announce this yet?
They didn't announce it, but he pretty much put the first shot out there saying like, yeah, I want to wrestle. I'm going to have a match with you at Mania.
Yeah,
it hasn't been officially put into it, but I'm sure that's something we'll probably get official next week, if anything.
So in that segment that I was just talking about, like it was the 5 guys in the IC title match, and then the one right after it was Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio official. Like they put the graphic up on the TV, and then after that it was the Fatal 4-Way women's tag match, which I stopped.
You called
caring
that one
about,
too. So.
I stopped caring about these segments a couple weeks ago when I was like, just make the match official and like I'll watch it when it is WrestleMania, but everything up to it, like
kind of what you were going at. Like it's going to be a Fatal 4-Way. Just say what it's going to be. You don't need to drag it out. We see the writing on the table. Come on now.
Yeah, it was just like okay.
All of them were kind of at each other's throats, so just put them all in a match. Let the best team win at this point.
Yep.
Because it's the only 4 tag teams that are worth really a shot at it at this point for the Raw women right now anyway.
And the Kabuki Warriors, but they clearly got pulled away from that situation because they're like, okay, we're going to do this Io Sky and Asuka thing for the custody of Kairi Sane is like kind of what they're building up. And they definitely indicated that later on in the show. They had Io face Raquel, and I was like, oh, I thought they might do this at Mania, but then I was like, okay, this once Asuka and Kairi came out, I was like, okay, they're gonna do Io versus Asuka.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm all for it. Like, let's go.
Yeah, Raquel made that official last week through a backstage segment saying like, okay, let's I'll see you in the ring next week. So, they kind of made that and then with Asuka and Kairi coming out, like you said, kind of just solidifies more that we're definitely getting a Io Sky and Asuka match, and we're gonna get that turn from Kairi taking out Asuka finally. That'll be the big win of it.
Yep. We had Liv Morgan come to the ring alone, which was good. Last week they were literally given 45 seconds and just brawled, which again got more out of that brawl last week than the length of time that Jade and Rhea get on SmackDown every week, and it's just boring me to pieces. I'm like, just get me to the match and hope Jade can have a good match, but other than that, just don't care. Custody of Kyrie match. Yep.
Custody of Kyrie.
Yep. Pretty much.
It's going to be a good match, though, nonetheless. It's going to be a good match.
I mean, Asuka and Io are like 2 of the best in the world, and they have extensive history. I'm ready for it. Like, thank goodness that we are getting that match at WrestleMania. I love it. Liv Morgan is in the ring. She's cutting this promo at Stephanie. Talks about her mom, says to himself in Spanish. It's like, uh-oh. Here comes Stephanie Vaquero dressed as the Catwoman, and I'm like, way to go, Stephanie. And then in the ring she goes. In the ring she goes, and then we got the return of Roxanne Perez, which I did read was like rumored to be a thing, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought she was going to align with Finn Balor. because Finn Balor brought Roxanne into the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
I think they wanted to bring Roxanne back, but they didn't have enough time on the show to give Dom and Finn like their own in-ring segment, so they just had the Finn backstage thing. They're probably also trying to keep Dom protected because he just came off of the concussion, and it's like, just don't let him get in the ring. Just like let him have the night off kind of thing. Totally fine.
I think also with mentioning about Roxanne Perez coming back, that kind of more sets up the fact that Raquel is definitely going to be the one moving out of Judgment Day, and Roxanne Perez and Liv are going to be a thing. So that kind of just shows that that's how that is going to be. So we'll see. Obviously Liv Morgan will probably beat Steph, but then you'll get Roxanne Raquel doing something like oh, congratulations, blah, 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 and then just attacks her right after the match or something, or after Monday night. Again, I think we talked about the fact that we nice to see Liv win, but she doesn't have to. I would rather see Steph like really show her worth and continue at it, because after that, what do you do with Steph? But
the curious thing is Liv Morgan actually has a streak going on at WrestleMania that she has not won a match at WrestleMania ever. I'm pretty sure. So it's like, let's keep that going and let Stephanie keep the title. Like,
I mean,
why not?
Right now, if I'm a betting man at this point, I'm still at the point of saying Liv's going to take it unless Stephanie can prove to me that she is definitely going to win.
Yeah.
I definitely would not mind her winning, but my stake is more in Liv winning that match right now. So we still have a couple more weeks. So hopefully, within those couple weeks before, as we're doing our match prediction episode in a couple weeks, hopefully, I can say more that Stephanie is going to win.
Yeah. And Brandon, totally agree. Like, I know how big the Io and Asuka and Kairi are in Japan. I love that they aren't just the Kabuki Warriors in the tag team match, and that they are getting their own match. I mean, they deserve it. Like, their in-ring ability is, like I said, they're some of the best in the world. And I'm hoping that out of this, we can get like a good Kairi Sane push finally, because like, I have seen her. I do remember I was watching NXT regularly when Kairi Sane was the women's champion. I mean, she can go, and like everybody, there is a huge Kairi Sane fan base out there that's like, come on, give Kairi a push, and I am here for it. I think it's tough because like Io, to me, I feel like didn't have. I guess it was just her putting on the stellar match with like between Rhea and Bianca last year. After that, Io Sky became like mega over, and then she had the one-on-one match with Rhea at Evolution, and it's like, I think after that everyone was just like, okay, bow down to Io Sky, she's super dope. Like, Kairi Sane just needs to be given these same opportunities to elevate her status, right? Like that.
Right.
I mean, that's just, I feel like Kairi just hasn't been given the opportunity to get there yet, right? We talked about Brock coming out dressed to compete, and Brandon mentioned earlier, like, Triple H had to get in there. I was like, yeah, just doing a whole Dana White shtick. Okay.
They've pretty much put a lot of stake into that already, so they didn't have to do a lot to sell that match tonight. They've already had Oba go over top the last 2 weeks, so having this be a cool-off segment for them is it's not going to hurt the build to it.
I was just surprised with them being in Madison Square Garden that they didn't do anything at all.
Right.
I do understand, like, okay, they had the first 2 weeks where it's like, oh, Oba got the upper hand. And I was like, okay, if they just keep having Oba, like, getting the upper hand every week on the way to WrestleMania, it kind of, like, makes it feel less like, okay, like, I can't wait to see this. It's kind of like, okay, Oba's like, so I'm glad that they did it. I was just surprised, being that they were in Madison Square Garden, that they were like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this time.
Right. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna, put forth anything because of him pushing Adam Pearce over. So not sure if he's gonna do anything about that.
Adam Pearce took a beating tonight. I mean,
yeah. When Oba threw him, I'm like, oh, geez, he hit that mat like hard. I think he hit the corner like really hard.
It was a little curious that Obafemi just kind of like went through the wall of security people and then slowly circled the ring, and no more security ran after him. That was a little interesting. But that's like really like overanalyzing. Like,
he threw that one dude like a rag doll, just like
it was just like, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
Like, I was like, I think he was supposed to land on some other human beings that were there to catch him, and I was like,
right, because he's just landing around on his like tailbone or his back, probably thinking like, yeah, you guys didn't catch me, thanks.
They probably did that in practice, and the rest of them were like, this will get him, him, and then they just let him just eat it on the outside.
Hey, should we move?
Okay, Penta open challenge. Kofi Kingston answers the call. I mean, they already have Penta versus Vikingo in AAA set up for the Intercontinental title, so I was like, and also Penta's not losing before Mania, like that wasn't happening. I think it was more so just to give Penta 3 weeks straight of IC title defenses, right?
Yep.
And that's totally fine. Like, let him get
All
3
for it.
title defenses in. Did you see this match at all?
The one you were just mentioning? No, I didn't.
With Kofi. Okay. So
Kofi, I saw a little bit of it, yeah.
Yeah. So Penta hits Grayson Waller with a Mexican Destroyer outside of the ring.
And Grayson did not really take that well, but
no,
he just kind of flew back.
I think the timing was just really bad, but then Kofi sold that Mexican Destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
Like rent was due, bro. Like, he literally just jumped back on his head, held the headstand, and I was like,
yeah, grade A.
This is why Kofi Kingston rules still, right? Like,
yep.
And then Penta announces the ladder match, and I think people were booing in MSG. I think they wanted the one-on-one match with Javon. But we do have, there's 5 announced participants so far. We have Jaden McDonough, we have Rusev, we have Dragon Lee, and Javon Evans along with Penta. So I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good start.
It's a pretty good stack, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, at first I was like, Rusev in there seems like the odd man out, just because the rest.
You got so many flyers in there.
Are flyers, but you do have like previous backstage interactions between Penta and Rusev. I think they had a match maybe a month ago or two.
I think they did. I think they at least had a segment together, or they had a match within the last couple months. But I think at least everybody's had a match with him, so it makes sense.
Yeah. All right, we covered everything except for hang on a second. Hang on just a second, please.
Please.
Okay, yeah. Literally the Roman and Punk beatdown. I was good that it wasn't some long drawn out gibberish chat, because their promos have been like, I think their first promo was their best one.
Yeah.
Like the year old thing, I'm like, I wish that Punk didn't put Roman through the table and then say, yeah, who's old now? I was like, that was kind of campy. You didn't have to do that.
Right.
It was just like, he could have just powerbombed him and said, and just threw his arms out, and I would have been like, oh, dang, I did not expect CM Punk to actually hold Roman Reigns and Grant, albeit he didn't slam him through the table. It was very like, oh God, I hope he's heavy enough to break the table.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it again, a good transitional week because you had Roman take over CM Punk last week, so you get the retaliation for CM Punk this week. Again, you've had the first 2 bouts be more Mike driven. So the last 2 weeks of that have been more, physical. So whatever happens with next week could be a little bit of both. But you had both Roman and CM Punk get their upper end on each other now. So now it's like, okay, now it's going to be getting way more serious to be like, okay, where do we see each other going now?
Yeah, I mean, that they've got a lot of brawls going on. So
They do.
It just feels like that's got to taper a little bit. Punk almost drops Roman on that power bomb. Yeah, I mean, I got to say, shout out to Bayley. If you saw that women's tag match earlier.
I saw that, yeah.
I mean, I saw her go under, and I was like under Nia Jax, and I was just like, this ain't happening.
I think Bayley's done that before.
I mean, that's like, kudos to Bayley for being like that, because that mainly core strength, to be able to support the spine to make sure it doesn't break, holding off that. I mean, I'm not.
Hey, Nia's
fat,
lost weight, but she's still a big girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Respectfully.
Exactly. Respectfully.
So, I mean,
kudos to Bayley for holding her up. But yeah, I mean, if Bayley could hold up Nia Jax, CM Punk should have not almost dropped Roman Reigns on the powerbomb. Right?
It's almost like Punk was just like, oh, I just underestimated how big he really is.
I mean, yeah, Roman's not like a huge guy, but like Roman,
right?
But Punk is a little bit less than average on like the. I mean, he's always been like kind of a smaller guy, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you don't take CM Punk for more of like he's not as much of like a strong guy, because like the way he's built, he's not built to look like he's strong.
No, he's just his thing has always been he's one of the best mouthpieces in the business, right?
Yeah, so for him to kind of be in that type of position, it's like, okay, just kind of see, let's see how this goes.
His technical wrestling was very good back when he was in his prime, right? Like, so when he was like the straight edge with the long hair, it was after, I guess he like cut it short, and then it was like that was when his like mic work really went to like GOAT status, right? Wow, like overall, Madison Square Garden Raw, I think we were just hoping for Braun Breaker. I thought it was a great show overall. Like, everything felt important. Like, they did a really good job with it. I will say, I feel like WrestleMania should be next weekend. Like, all of the go-home shows should be next week. So it'll be interesting to see how they book the next couple. I mean, we got 2 more Raws, but we have 3 more SmackDown. So it's like, after last week's SmackDown, I'm like, this week's SmackDown just needs to be better. Just needs to be better.
Yeah, I feel definitely this Friday we're going to hopefully get a little something more interesting, because, like you said, they got 3 more to go, where Raw only has 2. But, I would like to think that we got something coming with SmackDown.
Yeah. I hope that we're on here next week. Yeah, I was while you were talking. I mean, you're not wrong, Brandon. Like, Punk does have a very limited moveset these days, and like sometimes I'm like, these strikes just aren't hitting for me. I'm like, I mean, I will say I think that watching him in the ring is a little bit easier than watching Cena in the ring, because you could just tell he wasn't trying to get hurt because Hollywood, and everybody was really holding, like they were holding their punches every single time. It was like, okay, this is just a treat because it's John Cena in the ring, but we're not getting like a full blown, like,
Yeah.
we talked about the Cena and Cody match at SummerSlam. That was like probably Cena's best. I mean, other than his match with Dom was actually pretty good. No. His match with AJ Styles was the best one.
That was good.
Yeah. And I mean, that was like you're playing a video game with all of the finisher callbacks and Easter eggs that we got in that match. I actually want to go back and watch that match back again. Cena has 4 moves tops. Yeah. Unless
4
he's
to 5.
using unless he's using other people's finishers, right?
Yeah. That's the 5th.
Yeah, Punk in the ring, definitely easier to watch than Cena was in the retire. But like again, it was like, oh, Cena's retirement tour, good for him. But I did text you this morning. I was like, wow, they are desperate for selling tickets if they have Cena hosting WrestleMania. And you're like, is that official? And then I said, and you're like, you were like,
I'm like,
jeez.
Like they are really just like, okay, let's just put all the stops and it's
all the
just
chips on
it's
the table,
showing.
right?
It's showing, yeah, that they're just doing anything and everything to just get these people to buy tickets, and
if they were really desperate, they would have Chris Jericho come out on like if I truthfully think that he, like, if we're gonna talk Jericho, I think he's not in WWE by now because there's still a contract hold up with AEW.
Yep. 100%.
I'm not like, oh, we have to have Chris Jericho back. Like, the guy's got nothing more to prove. He can literally do whatever he wants at this point.
It would just be another, classic, like older guy coming in trying to just,
and like Gunther retire him. Like,
yep. So
sure.
I wouldn't want to see that go down for Jericho. And, if he's having his moments in AEW, let him, do his things in AEW. If he wants to retire there, cool. Or if he wants to eventually do one more run here to retire himself at WWE, cool. But I think at this moment, you don't, like you said, you don't need him right now because I think everything is pretty much planned out. There's nothing that would be able to be like, okay, we really could have used Jericho in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I really want to see is Jericho versus Dominic Mysterio. Like, I feel like that. If Dom had the IC title, like, I would be all over, like, because I just feel like the feud would feel strong. Like, I think that would be really good. And anything else before we get out of here?
I think just like anything, tonight was a good show. I think definitely, not better than last week, but out of the fact that we got, 3 confirmed matches for Mania added tonight. So, we got, so 4. So
we got the IC match, we got the Finn and Dom match, we got the women's fatal 4-way tag match, and we got Seth versus Gunther. So
yes. So they're, like I said, they're definitely just pulling all these, different matches out just to really start putting in, the fact that, okay, if we want people to, buy these tickets, we need to give them what they're gonna want to buy the tickets for. So
yeah, so now it's like, what matches are left to be announced? It's literally Io and Kairi, or Io and Asuka, and
trying to think what else. I mean, did they announce something for Jelly Roll yet?
No, I don't know if he's gonna have like an actual match.
Because he had the match last week with what's his face, Kick. So
Wilson.
Unless they do that again, you don't need to have it on the show. You can have it like on that Friday night, starting the week if you really wanted to.
I know, and thank you for reminding me of that. I will say, because I know I was like, how are you loading SmackDown? Like, how are you building SmackDown around Jelly Roll? I will give Jelly Roll his props. In the ring, I thought that he moved great. Like his match with Kit Wilson was very good.
I actually didn't see it, but for the
Very-
fact that he
Very good for Jelly Roll. Not very
Yeah.
good like in the total ecosystem of all wrestling matches, right? Just
right, that I was definitely talking in
Gotta
that
get that out
aspect too. Like it's not saying it's like a 5-star match for sure, but in Jelly Roll's, way, I know he's definitely been really trying to do his worth with what he wants to do in WWE, and Jelly Roll versus Dan Housing at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
why not?
I could totally see it being Jelly Roll and Danhausen versus Aisha Speed and The Miz, or The Miz, or maybe not Aisha Speed, but because Aisha Speed is like in with the Vision by accident,
By accident tonight,
yeah. So like he might be involved over in that. So we might get a Vision tag title match if they do something like maybe the Usos get a rematch at Mania. I don't know.
Right.
But I could definitely see Jelly Roll and Danhausen versus The Miz and Kit Wilson at WrestleMania, like that.
Yeah.
That tag match could be a thing. I mean, Danhausen making his in-ring debut at WrestleMania, like, come on.
I mean, he's going to be at WrestleMania in some type of form, whether he's going to be performing or if he's just going to have a backstage segment. He's going to be at Mania. So
He's going to have more than one backstage segment on both nights, easily.
Yep.
Easily.
Yeah, guys. Thank you all for being here. Brandon, thank you for tuning in with us tonight, and shout out to everybody. Brandon is one of our One Set Fam group members, so shout out to our One Set Fam. Jim, let everybody know how they can be part of the One Set Fam.
That is on the Facebook group One Set Famhausen. Again, that it is the Facebook group, the number One Set Fam. Come join us there. Come hang out with us. We do all of our community interaction, and it's literally this, but in social media platform
Post form.
format. Yeah, post format, and
We have a lot of fun with everybody. We're able to interact with you guys outside of the episode. So if you guys want to go on to there, the link's in the description over on our Facebook group. And make sure you guys are liking and following us right here on YouTube. Click that notification bell so you can chat with us every Monday night after Raw. We will be in a couple weeks doing our match predictions for WrestleMania. So, make sure you guys are tuning into that. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you guys, are usually in your little social media endeavors. And, thank you all for joining us. And we will be back here next week. And if anything, happy Easter, everybody. And I hope that you all have a great weekend.
That's it. All the love to you. This has been One Set.